Rhode Island, South Dakota, Texas, the second largest state, Wisconsin, and Wyoming, all of these states. And we're going to watch very closely to see what happens in these states, because some of these states could be indicative of a trend that could be emerging in the course of this night. I'm especially interested in finding out what's going on in a state, for example, like Minnesota, which has sort of been up for grabs over these past several weeks. And we'll watch that as well, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and a few others. Some of these states are not expected to be any great surprise. As we watch what's going on, we want to remind our viewers that this is a night that not only the White House will be determined, but the balance of power in the United States Congress, the House and the Senate. Let's pause. And with the polls closed in these states right now, we can make these projections. Barack Obama will carry these 5 states. Rhode Island, Barack Obama wins, will take the 4 electoral votes. That's not a surprise. Michigan, McCain basically gave up there a few weeks ago. Michigan, 17 electoral votes for Obama. Same for Wisconsin, and it's 10 electoral votes. Wisconsin will go for Obama. So will Minnesota, and it's 10 electoral votes for Obama. And New York State, 31 electoral votes. Not a surprise, but that's a bonanza of electoral votes going for Barack Obama. John McCain will carry Wyoming, and it's 3 electoral votes. That was expected in North Dakota, and it's 3 electoral votes. That will go for John McCain as well. We are in no position right now to make projections in these battleground states, including John McCain's home state of Arizona. We don't have enough information for Arizona and Colorado, Kansas, and Louisiana, as well as no projections for Nebraska, New Mexico, South Dakota, and even Texas, although that doesn't indicate that just because we're not able to make a projection that it's going to be close. It only indicates that we don't have enough information right now. But based on the projections that CNN has already put forward over the course of the past couple hours, right now, Barack Obama has a steady lead of 174 electoral votes. Those are the blue states that you see. 49 electoral votes for John McCain. Those are the red states that you see. The yellow states are where the polls have closed in those states, but we have not yet been able to make a projection. The other gray states out there are states that haven't seen their polls close yet. Let's go to voter analysis. Soledad O'Brien and Bill Schneider can explain better, based on exit poll numbers, what's going on. Soledad?
Yeah, we were really interested in drilling down on some of those issues we talked a lot about, certainly over the last 18+ months. That would be race and age. So let's take a quick look at the demographic of, did race play a role in this race, if you will?
Very important. Let's take a look at those voters who said the race of the candidates was an important factor in the way I voted. Now, that was about 20% of the voters. And how did they vote in the country as a whole? They voted 55 to 44 for Barack Obama, which suggests that race was an important factor to them, but when it was important, they were more likely to vote for Obama than for McCain. A lot of people voted for Obama because of his race, blacks and whites, as well as those who voted against him.
Now, in the exit poll, you asked exactly the flip of that question. Race was not a factor.
Right. Let's compare that with those who say the race of the candidates was not an important factor. They voted almost the same way. Whether you thought race was important or race was not important, Obama won the vote, which suggests that race was not a decisive factor in the outcome of this election.
What about age as a factor?
Age. Now, there is a very interesting contrast. Let's look at those voters who said the age of the candidates was an important factor in my vote. In the country as a whole, whoops. Oh, it's not working.
A little higher. Let's try again.
Among those who said the age was important, look at that. 78% for Barack Obama, only 21% for John McCain. McCain did win among those who said age was not important. Twice as many voters said age was important than said race was important.
Absolutely fascinating, considering how much we've talked about race in this race. Wolf?
Soledad, Bill, thanks very much. We're watching all of this. Let me just update our viewers once again on the projections that we've made. You see this map of the United States. 174 electoral votes we've projected going for Barack Obama, 49 going for Senator McCain. Remember, keep in mind, the magic number you need to be elected president of the United States is 270 electoral votes. All right, we're ready to make another projection. Two more projections right now. Two more pickups for the Democrats. In New Mexico, Tom Udall, the Democrat, will be elected the next senator from New Mexico. And in New Hampshire, in a fiercely fought battle, Jeanne Shaheen, the former Democratic governor of New Hampshire, she manages to beat John Sununu, the incumbent Republican. That's a pickup. Two more pickups. By my count so far, we've projected four more pickups for the Democrats. They had a 61 majority, considering the two independents in the Senate, Bernie Sanders and Joe Lieberman, vote by and large with the Democrats. These four more pickups that we've projected so far, that would bring that 61 up to 65, and that's getting 51 up to 55, getting very close to that 60 filibuster-proof majority that the Democrats would certainly love to have. But Jeanne Shaheen, we projected, will be the next United States Senator from New Hampshire, and Tom Udall will be the next United States Senator from New Mexico. His cousin, Mark Udall, is running in Colorado. We'll see how he's doing, but that's a pickup for the Democrats in both New Mexico and in New Hampshire. Anderson, so far, things are going pretty well for these Democrats.
It certainly is. The big question still, I guess, Louisiana is perhaps the Republicans' best chance for a pickup. Senator Mary Landrieu has really been targeted by John Kennedy.
Yeah, there's a chance, but it's very interesting. It's a big night for the Democrats. I would comment on what Bill said. There's been so much ink spilled. To the credit, and many speeches given, no speeches and ink spilled by Barack Obama on this. Some Bradley effect, huh? The country's grown up. Let's just accept that. And if Barack Obama is the President of the United States, we can't put our history behind us. But I think we can put some questions behind us, like what's possible in America.
Well, I mean, if he does become president, and it still is an if, does anyone know what this means in terms of change of race relations in the United States, or a perception of?
Well, I'll tell you one thing it means. As a former Secretary of Education, you don't take any excuses anymore from anybody who says, the deck is stacked, I can't do anything, there's so much inbuilt this and that. There are always problems in a big society. But we have just, if this turns out to be the case, President Obama, we have just achieved an incredible milestone for which the world needs to have more respect for the United States than it sometimes does.
Well, the world, I think, is a very significant observation. Yes, the effect of an Obama victory, if it happens, on the international reputation of the United States will be so profound and so immediate that I don't think there is anything comparable in American history in terms of an immediate change in public perception.
Winning World War II, maybe.
Well,
that was not so instant.
Not so instant.
I think it changes the way we look at our own country, and we look at it, and you look at this country, which has an amazing ability to self-correct after it makes mistakes.
Absolutely.
Selma 4 decades ago, we could be looking at the first African-American president. We don't know yet, but we could.
I think if it's an Obama victory, and it's as big as it looks it might be, that's going to be a huge milestone. I don't think we have taken care of the issue of racial prejudice. What's been apparent in this election, I think what Bill Bennett is absolutely right about, is it appears that a lot of people worked through their racial issues and came to a conclusion, I'll take him anyway. And that's real progress. That's real progress. But we need a little more information now about how the white vote breaks out before we break out champagne on this question.
Well, we also need to actually declare somebody a victor in this, which we have not at this point. There's still a lot more to talk about, though. This race, I mean, Alex, as a Republican, are you holding on to hope for Louisiana, a possible pickup in the Senate race? Is that what's keeping you from drinking right now?
James is so confident he's just spotted me 4 additional points in Louisiana. So, and I'll take him. It's his home state. No, I think that could be a pickup.